Sister Wives Preview. Christine Brown has awkward sex talk with family. Sister Wives appears to have a long way to go before the end of season 19. There are many details still to sort out with Coyote Pass, an ATV wreck, and odds and ends leading up to Christine Brown Woolley's magical wedding. But the new preview shows Christine having an awkward sex talk about David Woolley with her family. Sister Wives has a lot to cover. Notably, Sister Wives fans got to see Christine Brown Woolley and David Woolley's spectacular wedding event at the end of season 18. But now season 19 is filling in the details of before walking down the aisle. Seemingly, TLC is packing this season full of life-changing transitions for Mary, Janelle, Christine, Cody, and Robin Brown after the end of their plural living. In the mid-season sneak peek, there were plenty of teasers for the upcoming episodes. Likewise, in the latest episode, Mary is pulling out the stops by mentioning she and Janelle have been discussing the future of Coyote Pass. While Cody and Robin are panicking, the former wives are teaming up. Additionally, the preview shows a nasty wreck where Robin goes flying. Furthermore, fans get a sliver of Christine trying on dresses. But a new preview adds to the dress-fitting shenanigans. Sister Wives Preview. Christine Brown has awkward sex talk with family. While trying on dresses, Christine Brown Woolley easily eliminated some for the way they looked or felt. But at one point, her family made a convincing argument that led to an awkward sex talk. After showing several dresses, one snugly fit her, and my Keltie Brown patron let her know it was a no-go. Flustered, Christine Brown Woolley says in a confessional, "Oak, I'm not wearing this dress." After my Keltie's assessment and Janelle's assertion they were thinking it, Christine was embarrassed. She says, "This is a little bit beyond my comfort level. A lot beyond. If it can be described just like that, I am not wearing this dress." No. No. After realizing the embroidered pattern was far more suggestive than Christine Brown Woolley wanted, she let her family know the dress was out. Although she entertained the idea, it was too far past her comfort zone. However, by the wedding, she was comfortable enough to give David a public lap dance. In the preview, she acknowledges my Keltie's vagina comment saying, "You're right, I wouldn't want that." But Katie Charlene interjects, "I think my dad would." The whole room erupts in laughter as Christine catches up to the remark. She considers hiding the area with flowers. But A. Sutton jokes, he can find it without that. My Keltie adds, "Let's hope he can find it without that. It's like an arrow." Aspen adds he can. Then Christine throws out her hands and declares, he's fine." Janelle Brown adds, "That's TMI." And the room giggles through the awkward hilarity. The latest Sister Wives preview promises a jaw-dropping moment when Christine Brown decides to address an issue that's been long brewing in her life: her newly rekindled romantic relationships after her separation from Cody Brown. In what is set to be an awkward family conversation, Kristen takes the bold step of talking openly about her sex life, creating tension and discomfort among the Brown family members. The setup. It's clear that Christine has been in a period of significant self-reflection. After her divorce from Cody, she's experienced a surge of newfound independence and a refreshing sense of personal growth. Fans have witnessed her journey from feeling emotionally stifled within her plural marriage to discovering a life full of possibility beyond the constraints of polygamy. But in this upcoming scene, she decides it's time to share more about her evolving personal life with her children and the rest of the family, a decision that's as much about self-empowerment as it is about clearing the air. Christine has always been the fun wife, the one with a warm, approachable energy that softened the sometimes rigid dynamic of the Brown family. But even with her carefree exterior, she's always been guarded about her personal relationships and intimate details, especially after her marriage to Cody crumbled. She's avoided discussing romantic and sexual topics, preferring to keep those aspects of her life private. Now, however, Christine finds herself in an emotionally liberated place, ready to share the details of her blossoming love life with those who matter most, her children and her sister wives. A family gathering. The scene begins with Christine gathering her family together in what seems to be a typical Brown family meeting. The kids are sitting in the living room, some distracted by their phones, others fidgeting as they wait for their mom to speak. But when Christine begins to speak, the energy shifts. Her voice is calm but firm, betraying the nerves she's clearly feeling as she prepares to bring up the topic. "I think we need to have a talk," Christine says, glancing at her kids, and then at the faces of her fellow wives, Janelle, Mary, and Robin. The camera captures the instant awkwardness in the room as the family members exchange glances, wondering what's about to unfold. The subject matter, though, is something none of them can easily ignore. For years, Christine was stuck in a loveless marriage, with Cody's attention divided among his other wives. Now that she's free of that bond, it's clear she's ready to embrace her sexuality and desires without shame. And that's where the discomfort lies. The awkward build-up. At first, Christine seems hesitant to get into the details, but as the conversation unfolds, the awkwardness becomes palpable. The conversation starts innocently enough, with Christine talking about the sense of liberation she's felt since moving into her own home and stepping away from Cody's divided affection. She talks about the joy of not having to hide parts of herself anymore, and her excitement at the possibility of dating, forming relationships, and discovering what intimacy means to her now. But then she decides it's time to be honest, maybe too honest. "You know, I'm exploring things," she says, her voice trailing off nervously. "I'm not just talking about a relationship. I mean dating and sex." The room goes completely still. Mary's face is unreadable, but her discomfort is visible. Janelle shifts in her seat, awkwardly adjusting her body as if to distance herself from the conversation. Robin, the youngest of the wives and the one closest to Cody at the moment, looks a little taken aback, her eyes wide. It's clear that this is the first time she's hearing any mention of Christine's dating life, and certainly the first time she's hearing about it in such blunt terms. Christine continues, trying to make the conversation as lighthearted as possible, though it's clear that's not working. "I know this might be awkward for you guys, and I'm sorry," she says, her voice softening. "But I want you to know that I'm really happy right now, and I hope you can respect that." The silence that follows is deafening, with each family member trying to process the information in their own way. Some of the kids awkwardly shuffle in their seats, unsure of how to react. Others look uncomfortable, but don't say anything. It's an impossible topic to address, especially given the nature of the Brown family's complicated relationships with polygamy and intimacy. The family's reaction. The family's reactions are all over the place. Some, like Janelle, seem somewhat understanding, though still visibly awkward. Janelle has always been the more open-minded and accepting of the wives, but even she struggles to make eye contact with Christine during this conversation. Her face softens as she nods, acknowledging her understanding of Christine's journey, but there's a definite discomfort in her eyes. Janelle is the first to speak up, offering Christine's support in a cautious, "I'm glad you're finding your happiness." Mary, on the other hand, stays oddly silent. The tension between her and Christine has been brewing for seasons, with Mary's bitterness and jealousy toward Christine's new freedom only adding to the awkwardness. Mary's response is cool and calculated, and she simply nods without offering much in terms of warmth or enthusiasm. Robin's reaction is more guarded. As the youngest wife, she's still very much invested in her own relationship with Cody, And the idea of Christine stepping into a new romantic chapter leaves her unsure of where she stands. Robin finally speaks, her voice tentative. It's just a lot to take in. It's clear that she's not sure how to navigate this new territory, where Christine is speaking so openly about intimacy and freedom. Christine's boldness. Christine's bravery in this moment is hard to ignore. Throughout the seasons of Sister Wives, she has been the peacemaker, the nurturer, the wife who did her best to make everyone feel at ease. She rarely put herself first in her marriage to Cody, and she certainly never spoke about her sexual needs or desires. But now she's taking control of her own narrative, insisting that her happiness matters. The fact that she is finally able to express herself so openly, despite the uncomfortable atmosphere, shows just how far she's come. I just want you all to know, Christine says, that I'm not ashamed. I'm not apologizing for how I feel, and I hope you can all support me in this journey.